Hello, adventurers, and welcome to Grognard and Friends, where friends gather to explore the world of the Aria, all while playing Dungeons and Dragons. Thank you again, as always, to Baru Review for their music, who they've been with us from the very beginning, and we will never forget them for that. If you ever find yourself in Philadelphia, they still perform about 3 to 5 shows a year, so see if it's one of the best, most fun shows you're ever going to find in Philadelphia. And happy Pride Month to all of our friends in the LGBTQIA community from all of us here at Grognard and Friends. And speaking of the friends, let's check out this week's episode of Grognard and Friends. When last we left the friends, they had finally made it out of the city of Seven Rivers, much to Gaius's pleasure, and on their way to the village of Forest Grove. But only after Gaius had figured out a way to undersell the unethical horse traders outside the city gates, and were able to purchase the 2 of the 3 horses that they wanted from people about to enter the gates. Then, once on their travels, the friends had a strange encounter with an old woman who shared a bit of history about their destination, Forest Grove. And where we left things was in the middle of the night. Everyone has been awoken by Gaius's yelling frantically just before all of you were hit by some sort of strong force that sends the majority of you sprawling. Gaius remains standing, and Butt Trumpet does as well, as they and Eldred were able to get behind a tree and hold on tight. Reed and Nikita, I need each of you to give me a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage, please.
Oh, yeah, that's a disadvantage.
Okay.
Go hard or go home.
Okay, each of you take 9 points of damage. You have been woken up by Gaius yelling, "Get to higher ground," or "Get up, get up, get up, move, move, move." And you're hit with this force that just bowls you over and sends you sprawling. And the last thing you hear, it's like you got hit with this giant wall of air. And then it just, after you were sprawling, it continued on, and you just heard it go by with this whoosh. And the last thing you heard really was it hit a wall of trees with this loud force that it sounded like giants rattling all the trees. And then you heard it dissipate into the distance through the trees. As you look around, all of your belongings are everywhere. The 2 horses one has gotten loose and is just kind of wandering around. The other one's kind of very distraught, trying to pull at its tie. And basically, your little camp that you made is currently a mess. There's stuff everywhere. And there's fallen limbs and branches and leaves and just a mess. What do you do?
So the force that knocked everybody over, that's stopped, or that's consistent?
It passed. It is calm now. Everything is dead silent.
Okay, then I'd like to at least try to help pick things up that have fallen and are strewn all over the place. I'd like to at least help clean up the camp area.
Okay, very good.
Does anyone have...
Both of you all right? I'm going to tend to the horses, make sure they don't flee in the night.
That hurt a lot.
I was going to
ask
ask
that.
I'll explain in a minute. And Gaius goes over and calms the horses.
Wait, he knows? He knows what it... That's weird. I've never... Anyway, I was only going to ask if someone has spells to help calm the horses down, but it sounds like Gaius is on top of it. I will start cleaning up as well.
I start picking up my stuff and anything around
The
me.
10-second tidy.
I mean, I look around. I don't see anybody or anything other than our stuff.
Just your stuff and your fellow friends.
And where we are, the force or wind or whatever it was went through us to the trees right next to us.
North of you. So
I keep my eyes south.
Okay. Each of you roll me a 20-sider, please. Matter of fact, make it a intelligence, make it a perception check, please.
Well, there goes any chance.
15 for
15?
me.
19 for Gaius.
Ow.
Was that with disadvantage? I
No,
can't remember.
no.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
All of you, as you're picking things up amongst the broken trees and the fallen branches and limbs and just the mess that now is all around you, you eventually find all of your stuff. Everything seems to be accounted for. And Gaius, did you use any spells to calm the horses, or just animal handling?
Animal handling. Yeah.
Give me a roll, please.
11.
11? Okay,
Yeah.
the one that had wandered off seems okay. The one that was tied up takes significantly longer to calm down. It seems rather spooked. And
Which one's spooked?
the one that's still tied to a tree.
Oh, I know. Is it Betsy or Tosh?
Roll me a any die, and you tell me, is Tosh even or odd?
Tosh is definitely odd. That's the horse I'm riding. So.
Okay.
So it's Betsy. It's like, ooh, Betsy, ooh, like just trying to just rub her coat down, giving her extra treats.
Okay.
Looking over at Tosh, it's like you're handling this much better.
And surprisingly, Tosh just kind of does one of these, and for a second you're like, did they understand me?
Maybe I am learning how to speak with animals.
Eldred says, with our group, that's not surprising.
So, you gonna tell us what the heck that was, guys?
Oh,
The
yeah.
fuck was that?
Yeah, so I was on watch, and the best way to describe it is a large, colorful eruption, and gesturing in the direction
He
where
gestures
it
south,
occurred.
south
Across the lake. Now,
In
Paul,
that general direction is Butt Trumpet over there.
No. Much further past. In fact, it didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, it didn't affect the water at all. So it's not like, I imagine something hit the body of water because there was no, waves, or were there?
Well, when you saw the kind of wall of force coming towards you,
Yeah.
it seemed to initially pick up water as it came towards you, and
Yeah.
then it came upon land. And as Gaius is talking about this, all of you notice that all of you are rather damp at the moment too.
Not new for me.
Yes. I was worried, in my youth, throwing, rocks and pebbles into water, it causes waves. And the size of whatever that was made me kind of worried that the expounding nature of it might have made it so massive we might have went for a swim in the lake, potentially, or got banged around by some excessive amount of water.
Now-
Needless to say,
I can wait.
needless to say, it was was there a pit? I forget if it was a particular color. It was a couple different colors, but it was an unnatural. I guess there
That's a good way of
was
putting it.
magic about it. Is the best way to describe it. I wouldn't call it like a color out of space or anything, but it is definitely of the normal spectrums. But it's not something you just see off in the distance. It's like,
Do you
wow, that.
Do you
What's
think
that?
we were just in the way, or did we get attacked? Because that
Oh
hurt.
no. I think we were an excessive distance from this. Seven Rivers, at least distance-wise, was between us and it. It was...
All of you give me an intelligence check, please, except for Gaius.
My strong suit, of course.
Yeah, none of us actually...
Well, that was just lovely.
Oh, I got a 19, which is an 18.
Okay. Surprisingly, Reed, you're the one person that says, well, if it came from the other end of the lake, wouldn't that be south? Because Seven Rivers is east of us.
Yes, I was thinking, where we are at the lake, we got Seven Rivers to the east. Land-wise, if we had to get to the location, we would have to pass through Seven Rivers again to get to there.
Okay.
Because we're north of all of that, I guess.
Or you could follow the lake the other direction, east or west. You could follow the lake around to get there.
Yeah. Does our map show that far down, Paul? Like the bottom part of that lake? That's why I wasn't making an assumption.
No, it does not,
Okay.
because that's not part of the barony.
Okay, that's why I wasn't making an assumption, because I didn't know how far we
No
could
problem.
travel the other way to get to the other side.
Now, what I will say is you've been traveling for a number of days, and except on windy days, the lake does seem relatively calm. At night, you found it very calming, very often to hear these small little waves just lap on the shore as you're going to sleep. Right now, from the moment this happened to right now, you do notice that the lake is very choppy. It seems to be settling down a little bit, but it's a lot choppier than it usually is.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been huge then.
Oh, massive. I didn't see anything like landing, like coming from above, like the comet, say, striking the ground. I don't think with the amount of water that came up, it's something that necessarily hit the lake either. It kind of emanated up and out over whatever is south past the lake there. I don't know. I don't know exactly what is past there.
Up out of the lake?
I would assume there would be more like disturbance in the water.
True.
I guess.
This is true.
But once again, it happened so far on the other end, possible as well. I'm not a. Don't get me wrong. I've used small boats and rivers and whatnot when I was younger, but this lake is bordering on sea-ish, and that's not necessarily something I'm familiar with.
Me neither. Should we
Reed?
Reed.
Reed, you a boat guy,
Yeah,
Reed?
I'm not a boat guy.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Ship.
I'm not a ship guy either.
Okay.
But I do. I did. Well, no, you know. I just think maybe we should get away from the edge of the lake.
Oh,
Or do you think that's like a one-time thing? I don't know.
I will assume that's not going to be a regular thing, or maybe it is.
You didn't hear anything, did you?
Well, I mean, we all heard the giant whoosh.
But you didn't hear like a big boom behind there somewhere on the other side of the lake? Or... No.
Well, saw the light, and I'm assuming that the power that the wind is the speed of sound. Wait, does Gaius know these things, or is this science that he probably wouldn't have a grasp of? You know what? Like thunder and lightning, I think the wave of force we felt was like the thunder to the lightning of the explosion, or whatever it was.
Oh.
So the fact that I saw a thing was able to wake most of you up in a decent amount of time can at least give us a distance. So a couple miles at the very least.
Guys, you also remember that you saw the flash, and it was a little while before you started hearing the whoosh in the distance. It was
okay.
It was a while.
Oh, okay. Did I have it slightly different? Okay. Yeah, because the light stayed up for a little while too, right?
Couple seconds.
Yeah, a couple seconds. All right. So yeah, Guy says that in his voice, and I think we'll be okay. Like I said, we just keep on watch, and maybe when we camp, we do it on the forest side of the road instead of the lake side. That way, we have some of the trees and stuff.
Wind protection.
Yeah.
Someone,
exactly.
Someone, give me a perception check.
Okay.
You want me to do it? All right, you got it.
Well, a couple.
Hey.
The blue one did it first.
But Trumpet has got it.
But Trumpet says, hold up a minute.
Hold up a minute.
Yeah.
And help him.
Wait a minute, everybody. Be quiet. Do you smell that? And as they say that, to the north...
He gets nervous.
You see Reed. But past Reed, in the distance somewhere, you hear what sounds like a howling. Maybe a wolf, maybe a coyote, something like that. Couple seconds passed, and then you hear another one in kind of still in the northern direction, but obviously a different location. And it just starts building where you start hearing a lot of it in the distance.
I am absolutely relaying that to everybody.
That sounds slightly terrifying.
That's only the direction we have to go.
Oh, is
Does
it?
it sound anything like those creatures communicating back in Seven Rivers?
It doesn't sound like that. It actually sounds like wolves or coyotes, but it definitely does sound like they're communicating.
Right.
The Twilight Bark.
Well, luckily we shouldn't be. Well, I mean, they howl at the moon. That's kind of wolf things. That they all do that. It's weird if they don't, actually. I'm almost certain that wave of force has disturbed all of the animal life. It's probably made it a little bit nervous, to say the least.
As Gaius says this, you do, mixed in with those howls, do hear some other noises that could be any sort of animals. You definitely hear some bird calls and stuff like that. The woods to the north sound very active all of a sudden.
It seems like they are quite disturbed, much like Betsy.
So, do you guys feel like you could sleep, or should we just call this an early rise and maybe early to bed kind of situation?
Reed pulls like a twig out of his ear. He's like, ow. Well, I guess I could sleep if you wanted to go back to bed. What time is it about? Midnight or later?
It's middle of the night, yeah.
I think we'd have a better chance waiting until the next morning until whatever creatures are out there have maybe
I've calmed down.
on. Yeah.
The way we had set up the watch, I think Gaius and Nikita took like the 2 latest hours of the night.
Okay.
One
with
because I'm
Eldred
perceptive
being at
and
the end.
Eldred being at the end, and Nikita actually having dark vision, which is. Oh, hey, Bud Trumpet, do you see in the dark? You know what? I don't know this about your people.
I don't think I do, actually.
Really? I don't know.
I think you might have dark vision, yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
when you look out there, do you see things in like a more black and white kind of deal?
I'm not colorblind.
No, but that's how dark vision works. That's what I've had explained to me.
That's all I see at night is the black and white.
Dark vision is kind of like when you've been asleep for a number of hours, get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. And
Yes, it's happened to me many times.
yes. And
Number 1 or number 2?
That
dark
doesn't
vision
affect the dark
number
vision.
1 or dark vision number 2. We'll go with
No, I
dark.
know what you mean.
Okay. So you kind of see everything's kind of shades of gray. You can see outlines and stuff like that, but you can't make out details.
That's just useful for people on watch at night. Dark vision
Yep.
kind of thing. But anyway, so you guys want to go lay back down?
Is it my
Soothing
turn to
sound of
watch
wolf.
it, or
About there, I guess.
okay? Well, I'm up now.
And Eldred
Yeah.
says, "When you're done, just let me know. I'm going to start studying now anyway. Being that it's only like an hour or 2 that you're going to be on watch. How long's a watch?
How long is the watch? Hour?
Well, the 5 of us, it's about an hour and a half apiece.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just going to start studying. You let me know when you're done."
You can read in the
Alright.
dark?
Just with
He sticks up a
campfire, man.
finger, and a little flash of light appears there, and he goes, "Ah, I got my handy dandy finger."
Wait,
Make sure
you've
you
been
point
able to
at
cast
everything you
light
read.
too?
Yeah.
Whatever. Why am I always the one that has to glow and be in the front?
I think you just answered your own question there, Gaius.
I mean, I do like to stand out, but that's besides the point. Anyway, going to sleep now. starts taking his armor off. People can't just like me from who I am.
So Nikita will sit with her back on a tree trunk and just kind of facing south, just kind of keep watch that way.
Okay. Roll me a 20-sider, please.
Reed lays down but keeps one eye open for a little while.
Okay, Reed, roll me a 20-sider, please. Neither of you notice anything unusual, or the after about an hour or so, the noise north of you in the woods, the animal sounds do seem to dissipate a little bit.
Okay.
Some of the bird calls continue. You do know from taking watch at different periods that this is the moment, this is a little bit before the dawn, and birds tend to be active at this time anyway, so you are hearing a little bit of that. But the larger animals seem to have calmed down a little bit. Every now and then you'll hear one of those wolf or coyote howls, but that's about it. But it still seems pretty far in the distance to the north.
Quietly go over to Eldred and say, well, it's your turn to watch now, so stop reading.
He goes, oh, is that what that means? And he closes his book,
Yeah.
puts it in his pack, stands up, shakes out his feet, kind of brushes himself off, looks around and says, anything I need to be aware of?
Nope, it has been quiet. The woods seem to be settling. I have not seen or heard any problems.
Good.
I guess I'll catch a quick nap before we all get up again.
He just kind of does a slow stroll around the camp, just kind of walking around and looking. And just as you're about ready to doze back off, you notice him kind of strolling down by the water.
Eldred! All right, I'll get back up. Now, not too close, but not too far that I can't throw a whisper. The fuck are you doing? Get away from the water.
He looks over his shoulder and goes, I was just trying to see if I could see, like, what Gaius was talking about.
Pretty sure you can see it from back up here, too. I just have bad things come out of the water at night. It's a dwarven saying.
A lot of big bodies of water in those mountains?
No, that's the thing. If anything comes out of the water at night, it's really fucking bad.
Okay.
Little lakes, streams, it's really fucking creepy when shit comes out.
This sounds like a medical issue, but I'm not going to pry. And he starts walking back up to the camp.
Okay. Spasiba, I appreciate it. Keeps an eye on him, but heads back to bed and face plants on her pack.
Okay. And pretty soon, Eldred hears you snoring away.
Yep.
A little elevated because it's like muffled in your pack. The edges of the clothes are going, and everyone wakes up in the morning at various times.
I don't know why, but I had a dream, and some guy said something about medicles, but I don't even know what that means. What's going on?
I look around to make sure there's no corpse of Eldred on the lakeside.
No, it's been consumed whole.
Yeah. Knew it.
Eldred says, I was what?
Consumed whole.
Oh.
Nikita was paranoid about you being eaten by a sea creature, I think.
Ah. Yeah, no.
You are learning my fears. This is good.
You have a few of them, and I don't know if I'm the right medical professional to help you deal with these issues.
You're the only one right now, sorry.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah. But Trumpet, how did you sleep?
I thought that Eldred went to take a pee in the lake. But apart from that, slept like a baby.
Good.
Eldred says, oh, you were awake for that. I'm sorry.
There are just some things I can never unsee. It's upsetting. But I don't want to dwell on that now. I wish for us to move forward.
I think
Eldred
it's much
looks
better
at
to
you,
go
Butt
behind a
Trumpet,
tree.
and says, don't judge me.
Judge him, Butt Trumpet. Judge him harshly. Do you have any memory wiping or eyeball cleaning spells for the poor thing?
Not yet, but I think I can cause blindness for a while.
You know, maybe
Well, I
we
don't
keep
have-
that in the back pocket for now.
Yep.
You know.
I like the sound of
Also deafness. I can render you deaf for a bit,
Ah.
I think.
We've seen that
you know-
to good use.
Do you? Oh no, that was silence. That was a different thing. This is
That's
another
different?
thing that I also have. Yeah, I can also blind or deafen for a minute.
Just a person then, not like the area.
Correct. Yeah. So the silence thing that I did before was I dropped the silence in an area. This is I target a very specific person and
Oh.
it'll cause them to go blind or deaf. Oh yeah, useful, super useful if it's like one bad person that we needed to. I don't know.
Yeah, that you have to sneak past in your armor.
Mhm.
She says as she's like struggling to put the pants on.
Eldred says,
Paul.
the word, yes.
I'm sorry. Do we feel like we rested pretty good, aka healed, or no?
I'll say that you healed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, long rests tend to. What was it? Was it only like 9 points, right, Paul? That they got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and you slept in a little bit this morning to make up for the time, so.
Only 9. That hurt a lot.
Only 9. Yeah. What the? I'm
You
sorry.
made of hit points?
Well, I like to think I'm made of magic and wonder, but
Eldred says,
And
of
that's
why?
course
just my
you do.
opinion. Yes, thank you. It's nice when people have high opinions of themselves. Having good self-worth is the first step into being a better person. Anywho, who wants breakfast that I've been making for you? Anybody but the guy who's making fun of me?
That would be
I wanna
me.
make breakfast.
Yes.
Maybe tomorrow Eldred should make breakfast.
I don't know if we want that.
Ugh.
That is what I was thinking.
Hey, be happy I didn't
Eldred will
like
make
put
brunch.
wine in it. Yeah, be happy I don't put wine in everything.
You
Like
didn't?
some lunatic.
Oh, come on,
No, I
man.
didn't. What? It's food.
What?
There are
What you
certain
doing?
There are certain sauces that require a wine reduction, and frickin' this in the morning doesn't. The bacon fat ruins the wine. All right. And I was
You
using
haven't
that to
heard
cook
of
the
the
fried
cleric's famous wine omelet?
rice. Oh,
Mm.
I want to
No.
see the wine reduction spell, or is that just him drinking it?
yeah, I reduce wine.
It's
It's like magic.
Eldred says it comes a couple hours after that, actually.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Okay,
So
all
do
of
we
you have eaten breakfast that are supposedly eggs, according to Gaius. A couple of you do wonder, where did he get eggs? But no one says anything, so he just seems very proud of himself.
We hear some shuffling and some squawking behind a rock where Gaius goes. Yeah, I'll get another one.
there. Who wants peacock?
Eldred
don't know
goes,
what's
I'm not
around
touching that.
Anyway, all right, let's get on the horses and go.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't there a missing child we have to save or some such thing?
Oh yeah, we're
Yes,
doing the same.
supposedly that. Are we heading north, or from here? Where do
Follow-
we go?
West,
Keep
I
following the
believe.
road. Well, no. Despite the map, the orientation is we're heading north, right, Paul?
No, you're heading west. You've been heading west ever since you left the city.
Aha.
Oh, okay. So the epic thing happened south of us. All right, yeah. Okay, I'm good.
You've been heading west, kind of following on the road that follows along the side of the lake.
Yes.
At some point, we have to turn north. Da? I kind of remember that on the map.
Yes.
Is that the way the road
pass-
goes?
Well, the road actually meanders a little south first. We pass Stoats Hole, and then
Okay.
it converges with a road for Forest Grove, and then we head north.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the guy whips
So
out the map. He's like, "They're the little dotted lines. These are the roads.
Okay.
The white lines are the rivers."
Отлично. Perfect.
Does this mean we might get to stay like at an inn at the next town or something?
It might, or because from. Oh, don't you remember when we had that old lady stop at our campfire, or you guys were kind of sleeping? She
Yeah, no, this
told
is
us-
the first that Gaius is mentioning this. Buck
Oh.
Trumpet was
Old
familiar
lady?
with it, but neither of them mentioned the old lady.
Oh yes, in the middle of the night, old lady traveling down the road was passing our camp, she stopped. We conversed. She told us about Stoats Hole, which is kind of just a go-between kind of town, more of a
Mm-hmm.
pit stop to other places. Oh, and you'll find this interesting. Forest Grove, where we're heading, is not the original Forest Grove.
How do you mean?
So, the way she told it was that the original Forest Grove, which isn't at the exact same location as the new one, kind of ended due to them. There's some kind of like nefariousness associated with it, but she was not very clear. It just that's why we kept getting like hints from other people that Forest Grove seems a little off. The new town.
Oh.
Apparently, there's another town or the remnants of a town nearby that was the original Forest Grove settlement. The place we're going is the new locale. And also, she could apparently make decent money just selling sticks.
What
She had a
kind
huge
of-
bundle of sticks on her back, and the silhouette was unsettling in the dark, to say the least.
And she travels at night? That was weird.
Well, it's hot outside, and she's old. She
Very
doesn't like the
brave
heat.
then.
Brave, desperation can be two very similar looking things depending upon
This is
what's
true.
the
Yeah.
situation. But anywho, yeah, sorry didn't mention that earlier, but this long trip so far has been kind of all seems to be running together. Anywho,
Ah,
I assume we're having this conversation on the horses as we're going, Paul.
Yes, I'm assuming that as well.
So yeah, so hopefully we should be, because we've been on the road for 4 days now, Paul.
At least.
And we were told it takes about a week to get to Forest Grove from Seven Rivers.
okay.
So we should actually be coming up on Stoats Hole, if this map is right, in the next day or so, I would
I
think.
hope there's not another big hole like Seven Rivers.
Yeah,
That would
you
be
know
weird.
what? That would be great if every city we didn't go to had a super gross
Of course, but this
knock.
one's called hole.
Yeah.
Well, from what I gather, I think it used to be a mining town or something.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where the hole came from, but I think that's all
Oh,
done with.
this was like a cave.
Well, I think that Stoats was probably the guy who started the mine, and Stoats Hole. Or it could be something real
Sounds
weird.
personal. But
Yes.
Maybe maybe the hole's in a bog and it's down in the valley-o.
what is Valio?
Eldred
You wanna
says,
do the
I don't know,
song?
what's the Valio with you?
Ew.
I'm
Hole
here
in
till
the
Thursday. Try the eggs.
They're dried
Ah,
with
but
magic.
still filling.
Yes.
I'm kind of excited to see what kind of breakfast you come up with, Elder. What magic can you make with food? Magic food.
Oh, you'll be amazed what I come up with.
And
Will it be
with that,
bacon?
with that threat hanging over the party,
Yeah.
It'll be
Oh.
very memorable.
oh, are you
I'll
going to
try
give
it,
us
whatever.
little?
I'll just
Oh, do you
need
have
the-
little cherry tomatoes? I like to eat those very slowly and messily.
Well, I'll have to see what I can forage in the tree line.
Oh, hey, FYI, be careful. I did notice some mushrooms out there that are edible, but not conducive to us completing our journey in a normal amount of time. Oh, we left those behind, my friend, and I am not going to point those out to you.
Okay,
I was
know a
warned
little
many
bit
times
about
about
mushrooms.
eating mushrooms.
Good news is, on our way back, I know where they're at.
This is
Celebration
true.
mushrooms.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yes. Huh. Or we just keep going south.
Ah, we don't go back.
Yeah, you take those mushrooms and you walk into the lake.
And just take me, sea gods. This is a lake. Whatever.
Somebody roll me a 20-sider, please.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I regret that.
Someone roll me a 4-sider, please.
I'll sit this one out.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, you got it, bud.
I got
Oh,
it.
somebody did it.
About 3 more days go by, and at the end of the 3rd day, well, let's back up. You walk for a day. You don't really see anyone on the road. Night comes. You have your watches. Nothing happens. Eldred, during his watch, Nikita, roll me a 20-sider, please. You have a hard time getting back to sleep.
After my watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you look around, and Eldred's nowhere around. Near, like, about 45 minutes to an hour later.
So dark vision is 60 feet and nothing close. I don't see any movement. Fuck. Are we still right along the edge of the lake?
Well, it's like there's the road, and on the one side there's a gradual downward slope towards the edge of the lake, and on the other side of the road it's kind of level, and there's some few little copses of trees, and a little further north there's a bigger section of woods. But it's all relatively level around here. But everywhere
Okay.
you've gone, you've seen a lot of branches down and a lot of leaves down. And
I'd like to walk up to the road, onto the road, but not onto the slope part to see if I see him anywhere on the slope part towards the lake.
okay, give me a perception check, please.
Called it.
You don't see squat other than
I
the
don't
lake.
see- Eldred! I'm trying to whisper, but not wake anyone up because I'm weird. Eldred! I'm assuming no answer.
Hold on. Oh, geez. Okay. With a 20, we'll say that from north of you on the other side of the road, from far away, you hear like a stage whisper going, "People are sleeping. I can hear you from up here.
Who are you?
I am the ghost of the dead dwarves of the wood. I am here to haunt you."
Fuck off, Eldred. Jesus Christ, I was worried.
Who?
Oh, God, I'm going to have to
No,
work
it's
on my
this-
voices.
As long as you're alive and somehow you can see that everyone is encamped is okay. Okay.
Nikita, roll me another 20-sider, please.
It's going so well, so quick.
Classic Nikita rolls here.
Yes, exactly. You know you've missed them.
I'll give her this. She stays on brand.
Yep.
Everyone but Nikita, please take off your headphones. We are going to keep this quick and simple.
Okay.
You've been on the road for, almost a week going there. You really didn't think anything of it until just now when you're starting to kind of pay attention that you're up and, Eldred, he's just over there. And so, like, you're not thinking about the journey ahead. You're not thinking about food. You're not thinking about what you're going to do. You're just, all of a sudden, your mind is kind of clear. And all of a sudden, you take note of your hands. And
Okay.
one of the things that you realize is the whole time that you've been traveling, for the most part, you keep rolling something between your fingers in your one hand in your pocket. We'll just leave it
Okay.
at that. You just find yourself constantly doing that. And it just, now it's finally kind of, you're going, oh, that's interesting. And
That's-
then, you go, that's interesting, but it's also really pleasant. I think I like this.
Helps me stay relaxed.
You all wake up to the smell of cooking.
Cooking what?
You do not know.
You do not
I want
recognize-
an insight check. I don't accept that.
It's
Reed
people.
rushes over. I'm dying to know what Eldred's making. Is Eldred cooking?
Yes, you see that Eldred is over the fire with a number of pans going on the fire. And there wasn't a fire.
Don't you smell what Eldred is cooking?
What's it look like? What you making, Eldred?
Uh,
I heard you
I
guys got to tell the truth.
know.
one pan looks to be a large. It's a large pan that seems to have parts of an animal in it that have been skinned, and another pan seems to have a selection of root vegetables and quite a lot of mushrooms, quite a bit of mushrooms, and both of them seem to have quite a few bits of like little green bits of what's obviously some sort of plant.
I make sure my bunny's still in his cage.
Eldred, this
Well,
is
let-
what you were going for last night.
Wait a minute, let's back up a minute.
Yep.
Reed, you have a cage?
Yeah.
For the rabbit.
Remember I bought a cage before we left?
That's
Seven
right.
Rivers.
Okay. I forgot about that. Okay.
How uncomfortable does that rabbit look now? Like, is it just fur sticking out all over the place? Can he actually open the cage?
He can. I mean, the backside of the bunny is like you've got little fur coming through the bars. It looks rather cramped. It also looks very hungry. It keeps like wiggling its nose, and like when there's food and stuff, its head seems to be darting. That's when it seems to be most active.
Give it a mushroom. See what happens.
Oh, yeah,
I
they like plants,
agree
right?
with this.
Okay.
Ah,
I rush back. I open up the cage.
Okay.
I'll take the bunny out.
Okay.
And I go over and wait for food.
Okay.
Bolts into the woods, never to be seen again.
So when you take it out, are you holding it or?
Yeah, unless if it really wants to run, the cage is getting a little small, so I understand if it wants
Okay.
to go somewhere.
Its legs are kicking and everything. You put it down, and it just stands there, looks up at you, and then bolts. And it just seems to run circles around the camp for a while. Stops, looks at you, and then bolts again in the other direction. Just seems to, and then
Reed, have you not let that thing out of the cage in days? What the hell's wrong with you, man?
I took it out a little bit, but I put it right back in. I didn't want it to run away, but
And then it goes to like chomping on some, it seems to be nibbling on some good little bits of greenery in the ground.
once I get a little piece of meat, I will offer it to the bunny.
Okay.
That's not how that thing's supposed to work.
so Eldred,
I
is
know,
this
it
what
likes
you were
meat.
doing? You were getting mushrooms?
I was getting all sorts of things.
Oh
know-
my.
You know, magic missile is great for getting wild hares.
Reed, did you
Does
just
it
feed
leave
that
anything
bunny?
Uh,
Also, Eldred, did you let him feed his bunny?
I was busy cooking. I didn't. It's not my job to
I-
watch everybody.
You know
That's
he
kinda
feeds
weird.
it. You just made that rabbit a cannibal. Actually, I put the onus on both of you. I wash my hands and just starts eating the rabbits too. I'm okay with this.
I mean,
Eldred
it
leans
needs
over to
bacon.
Gaius and says, "Really? After all the things you've told me about this this bunny, that's the worst thing?"
Well, I mean, I've gotten on better terms with it now.
So you and the bunny
Yeah.
are besties.
Well, I just it hasn't tried to murder me recently, and I consider that a win.
So the bunny and I are on same terms as your friend.
Well, no, actually, you've tried to murder me more recently than the rabbit.
This is true.
I beg to differ on that, even though I've heard the stories.
Yes, it is what it is. Either way, it's just weird feeding an animal the animal it is. It's just unsettling for some reason.
Yeah,
I'm not going to feed a horse. I can tell you that much.
Where are you going to get a horse to feed the horses?
Good question. But if it came up, just saying. Looking
This
at the
is
only
true.
other animals we're in charge of at the moment. This is not setting a great trend.
How are they
Anyway.
doing? Should we give them any of the food? I don't know what horses eat.
Feed. I've been feeding them oats and all that good stuff. Occasionally, I
okay.
get some carrots. Right now, they're grazing.
Eldred says, "Yeah, Gaius keeps the oats next to the eggs.
They would be soft. Duh.
The
Yeah,
eggs. Yep.
it's oats.
Yeah, they would be, like held softly.
Yeah,
If
there
there's
you
a
go.
word for I'm just eating.
So you have
Did the bunny like the rabbit?
Eldred says, "I thought he was giving him mushrooms, but I had no clue he was actually going to give it meat. But what do I know?" Yeah, all of you seem to really enjoy breakfast. The bunny.
How long until the mushrooms kick in?
Nah.
We'll get there.
Constitution check?
What?
Constitution check?
No, this will be probably an intelligence check.
Oh boy.
The bunny takes to the meat no problem, just nibbles away.
That's unsettling.
Nah, come on, it eats bacon.
Yeah, it's a different animal. At least.
Would it know it was eating one of its own kind? I mean, I don't know if I'd be eating dwarf if somebody cooked it up and served it to me. I never thought about that until now. Thank you.
Yeah, right?
Eldred goes, "My work here is done, I think."
Fuck.
Can any of us hunt?
Yes.
Right?
I can hunt quite well. I can live off the land quite easily.
Maybe we'll meet this or get to this inn, and if there's an inn at this whole town.
We bought provisions. We don't actually need to murder rabbits for food. We have sausages and all this other
Magic
stuff.
missile them eating.
Where are these sausages being kept?
On the horses.
Okay.
In
So
the
you've
saddlebag.
had
I bought
you've had-
provisions.
Right, but so you've had eggs and sausages in pouches on the horses for about the past 4 days.
Yeah, well, what?
Okay.
The sausages are cured. What?
No, I have no problem with this.
Okay.
They were dried out.
Oh, they were dried sausages.
Yeah. Trail
just add
rations
water?
and stuff.
I'm not familiar with that.
Dried
Have you
meats
not
you're
had-
familiar with. I just,
Have you not
I'm
had
assuming food poisoning. That's all we need to establish here.
We'll work
you
it
guys
out.
not had trail rations? I'm just.
The first time I'd ever been on a trail was when I left my home mine and went to Seven Rivers. So no.
Yeah, me either. I haven't been on a trail ever.
Oh, well, let me tell you, the worst is when you gotta make acorn butter. Oh, God, that stuff is terrible. But nutritious. And fighting the squirrels for it is a motherfucker.
I can only imagine that the Warhammer would be useful.
I
the
didn't
acorns.
carry that. I didn't carry that at that point. It was working
Eldred
at the
goes,
Abbey.
"Everyone's
There was
making
not.
fun of me, but I thought acorns were not good for you."
It was more of like a survival kind of thing going on there.
Okay.
Kind of had to do it.
Reed,
great.
give me a perception check, please. Okay. Breakfast is finishing up. Everyone's kind of cleaning up afterwards. You go to look for your bunny, and it's a little ways off. But the thing that you notice more than anything is there seems to be other rabbits that have come out of the grass that all seem to be within. There's about 3 of them. They're all within like 5 feet to 10 feet of your bunny, just kind of looking and sniffing the air, and occasionally one will.
Nikita, look!
What?
Look at all the bunnies around my bunny. There's other bunnies.
And they're
You want
not
one?
colorful. Oh.
No. We could all get a bunny.
It's we have enough fun carrying yours as it is, especially if it doesn't fit back in the cage. Am I right?
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Now I think this is kind of fascinating to watch. Though, are they trying to communicate? Do they recognize that it's a magic bunny? What do you think?
I don't know. Is that a thing bunnies do?
They did in the city.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know, really.
Uh, well,
So
I
should
guess
we wrap?
I'll offer, since we're packing up, I'll offer to get it back in the cage. If it doesn't want to, it's time for Bunny to go on his own.
See how it goes.
I'll grab the cage, start approaching.
Okay, roll me a percentage dice, please.
D100.
34.
You grab the cage, you start walking towards the bunny. You get within 30 feet of the bunny, and the other three, the rabbits that are around it, raise their head and then take off back into the high grass and into the woods, and they're gone.
Bye, bunnies.
Your bunny seems to turn its head and watch them go, watches you as you come closer to it, taking a few hops towards you, and then it stops, looks up at you, and then obviously its head immediately goes to the cage, and then
get back here?
runs back about 10 feet and turns and looks at you.
I mean, last chance. We're going to get on horses. So I hold the cage out one more time.
It just looks at it and stares at it.
All right. Well, you can follow us if you want. I'll keep the cage if you want to get back in and ride along. That's good, too.
Nah, I can hold
Start
the
to walk.
cage.
Start to walk back towards everybody.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye over my shoulder, see if he starts following.
Occasionally takes a couple hops towards you, but as long as you're holding the cage, it still kind of stays at a distance.
Okay, I'll hand the cage to Nikita. I'll hold my arms out. I'll get down and hold my arms out.
It hops towards you kind of every now and then, its head kind of going to Nikita, and hops towards you and eventually hops into your arms.
Okay,
I
guess
do not
gotta
make
hold
sudden
him.
movements, Bunny. Don't worry.
I guess no more cage.
We can try to sell it in Stoats Hole. No,
Yeah.
of course. He seems to know you, though.
Oh yeah, we're best buds. I mean,
Yeah.
not as good as me and Gaius, but we're best buds.
No, of course not.
Eldred says, but it is a similar relationship, I think.
Has Reed
Wow.
tried to climb down Gaius' throat?
To hear Gaius tell it in a matter of speaking, but not literally.
I've never
Gaius
touched Gaius' mouth.
Gaius isn't here to hear any of this, so
Gaius drinks more. The bunny probably eats more.
Actually, for the cage, do you think it's big enough to put my pack in it?
No.
So the cage.
If your
No.
pack was empty, you could squeeze it in.
Gotcha. No, it is not. All right.
Okay.
Just checking.
Someone roll me a 20-sider, please.
no one wants to be blamed.
Yeah.
10. A perfectly normal down the middle 10.
Okay.
10 days later.
We should have
The-
turned
the-
left at Albuquerque.
Thank you. And piggybacking on that, 10 days later, the bunny zombie, the British bunny zombie movie.
I like it.
So 2 more days go by, that uneventful. As you're going, you do see a few more riders going east, coming towards you and continuing on. You also notice that the area around you seems to get a little more hilly, not like mountains or anything, but just like rolling hills. Gradually becomes more and more rolling hills. At the beginning, it the trees seem to be incorporated into the hills, and it's just kind of a rolling landscape. But then after the second day, the hills become rather barren, and they're kind of, it's like hills of dirt. At the end of the second day, right a little bit before you estimate the sun is beginning to, just as the sun's beginning to lower in the sky, seems to be a walled town, but it's small. It's about probably smaller than the size of when you saw the first Lord of the Rings movie,
Mm-hmm.
and they were on their way to the Prancing Pony.
Bree.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Bree. Right.
It's obviously smaller than Bree, but it's surrounded by a wooden wall that's about 15 feet high. But what you notice is the gate, which it looks like they're beginning to close up. It's like a barn door, like a pair of barn doors that they're beginning to close up. To the right of that, a couple sections over, the section has fallen over, and there are some people looking to like repair the damage.
Oh, hold on. Travelers wanting rest, relaxation, and safety, I would assume. And also,
And food.
I am a relatively. I can help with the raising of the side palisade there if you need assistance.
Yeah. If you need more help, more hands.
Please, we're about ready to call it a night, but if you're willing to help, please come on over, give us a hand. That was a hell of a storm that did the other night.
Oh, yeah. What was that? A couple nights ago, right?
Took
What
some
did you
bits
see?
of roof off as well in town.
Woof.
Yeah. Did you notice anything besides that one really strong gust of wind?
It was in the middle of the night. No, we woke up and the wall was down and bits of roof and shingles were scattered about the town.
So I got that. We'll have this conversation as we're helping them
Okay.
raise the wall and everything.
It looks like they had built a whole new section of wooden wall, and they were, as you were arriving, they were in the process of walking it up to stand up and then securing it. So you being there actually is a huge help in order to steady it while they secure it.
Always glad to be of help. Is there a this is Stoats Hole, correct? If
Yes, it is, sir. Very
my
very astute of you.
passing some people on the road, and also now I can confirm that this map isn't lying to me. I hope you have a tavern or an inn. Here at Stoats Hole, grab a wet my whistle maybe, and my friends wet all of our whistles.
Food.
The guy that
Beds.
you've been speaking to says, "Yes, we do. We have both, and they are the same place."
Did they have a stable? We have 2 horses that need stabling.
They might let you use the stable, but it may you'll probably have to share room with a cow.
Yeah,
There's no room in the inn.
You'll have
That's
to
fine.
check. I don't know.
I mean, there's a manger. I can curl up in there.
That is just a weird sight.
There's a pigsty. I know there's a pigsty out back.
Skip that. Skip
Okay.
that one. We've been sleeping, in the forest the past couple of days. So with a cow isn't that big of a deal, to be quite honest. It's not like I'm some noble highborn ass that requires only the finest silks.
Eldred says, "I'm just backing out of this one. That's too easy. Nothing."
Oh, you think I'm noble? Thank you. Anyway,
Sure, we'll go with that. And the one guy says, "That reminds me, I have to get home to my wife. I will see you tomorrow." And he says, "Okay."
Wait, what was the name of the inn?
Oh, it's
The
called
one.
The Hole.
Really?
Oh no. Ugh.
Well, let's go to the hole.
Okay.
Ugh.
Someone give me a perception check.
I'll do it.
Is the hole large or is it a small hole?
Is it a cozy hole?
Is there a lot of depth to the hole?
I don't know about death, but it's pretty big for these parts.
I just no.
Maybe it's comfy like a hopping hole.
Could be
But-
a mighty hole.
Butt trumpet. The guy tells you just follow the road. There's really one main road that goes through town. It's not a big town. But as you begin to head down this road, butt trumpet, twice you see up ahead like things go across the road and like hide, kind of disappear under a building or between some rocks or something like that. They at first you think that's a really long rat, but then you realize there's no rat tail. Rodent-like and very long, probably about 6 to 8 inches long. And you just see it at a distance, like one goes this way, you walk a little bit further, then another one kind of goes that way. And
Does this place have a ferret problem?
I think there's some weasels or ferrets or something.
What is it? What do you see?
They look like long rats with no tails. I'm pretty sure that's a ferret.
I have no idea. Do I have any
I
idea?
wondered what
no, you wouldn't have any idea, Nikita.
No, I didn't think so.
I hope
Yeah,
they're
well,
really
yeah.
Kind of
funny.
sounds like a ferret or a weasel, perhaps.
So feel free to head up the road there to a place, and you see over the door a sign that has a big black circle, a solid black circle, and it just says "The Hole."
Guess this is the place.
I would have went with the abyss or something. Just sounds a little cooler. But well,
Really hope this isn't a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
I was just thinking that.
Listen to
That's
the
very
music that
specific.
plays as we walk in.
I was really hoping just for a relaxing night, but whatever. Guy takes the horses over and ties them up for the time being.
Maybe it means watering hole. So.
Okay, you go and
Hey,
there's 2 places to tie up the horses. You notice about 8 horses tied to the one side. Some have packs on the back, some don't.
I can go in and try to find someone to talk to about
yeah,
stable and/or rooms.
we'll all go in. If we can't get rooms, we can
Alright.
at least get a meal that wasn't cooked by one of us, and then sleep on some
questionable
hay. I
Eldridge
guess.
says, "I represent that remark."
It was a
Yes.
very good meal. Thank you,
I didn't say it
Eldridge.
was bad. I'm just saying a meal that wasn't cooked by one of us. Everyone's done a great job at cooking.
I'm not a very good cook.
Guys turning and looking at people who haven't cooked yet,
I'm not.
Oh, you,
I mean, I'll cook if you want, but
Yeah, you really want us
Dice
to?
opens up the door. Why don't we go inside? I'm sure they
Yeah.
have
After
Maybe-
sufficiently digging yourself that hole.
an ale. Whoa, hey, listen, this place is just full of holes.
Trumpet
Oh,
climbs
shit.
in through an open window, as does Reed.
Oh, that was a window. Can't tell. It looked like a fancy door.
There's a
5
guy,
feet away, there was a door that I opened.
There's an old guy at a table in front of the window who looks and goes, "Frickin' cretins must be from the city, smoking a pipe."
I just stare at him, holding my buddy.
Guys walks in. It's like, yeah, they must be from the city. Bunch of weirdos.
It is a rather large tavern for this sort of this size village. I mean, this is huge compared to what you would expect from a town this size. Because as you've gone, you've seen like a handful of buildings, and that's really about it. Okay, you see people at various tables, a couple people at the bar. There's one bartender. And as you all come in, especially as Butt Trumpet and Reed climb in through the window, it's kind of like someone scratched the record, because all conversation stops and all eyes kind of turn to you. Except
Sorry.
for the table in the upper right, they just continue to be whispering amongst themselves.
all right, let's go talk to the bartender, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Okay, you
gonna
want to do that, and we'll get a table.
Can I see over the bar? Or do I need to climb a chair?
Well, you get up to the bar, and the gentleman behind the bar leans over and says, "Hello, little lady. What can I help you with? Welcome to the hole."
Ah, spasiba, thank you. Do you have rooms available for the night?
He just kind of laughs to himself, and he says, "We usually have rooms available." He says,
Oh,
then his eyes, give me a perception check.
Okay.
Oh God, you have a -2 wisdom.
Oh, he says, we should, but I'll just have to check.
Appreciate it. Can we
And-
also just seat ourselves and then order food and drink?
Sure. Just you have to order it through me. I'm really the only one on at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Reed's,
And what about
Reed's already got
stabling
his
for-
bunny on the table.
What was
Stabling
that?
for the horses. Stabling for the horses? Do we need to sign up for?
I can. Best I can do is I got a boy who can put him in with Myrtle, our cow,
That
or you
should
can
be
leave him
good.
tied out front.
Nah, I think they deserve to be in with Myrtle the cow. I think they need
Okay.
a nice group to rest tonight, as do we.
Looks over and a boy comes over and he says it's going to be a silver to stable the horses. How many do you have?
2.
Okay, that'll be 2 silver,
Wow.
but we'll settle up when we deal with the rooms.
Sounds good.
And the boy he whispers something to the boy, and the
I
boy
don't
looks
catch it.
not with that roll you didn't.
Yeah, no shit.
The boy says, I'll be right with you. And you see him go over that table in the upper right and goes to the far end and kind of says something to the person. And the person continues staring forward as he talks and then just shakes his head. And the boy comes back and says something to the bartender. The bartender says, you're in luck. We have rooms.
Excellent.
And the boy says, you want to show me where your horses are? Or are they just outside? Or
They should be just outside. Can I call to Gaius to maybe show the boy
Sure.
Betsy and Tosh?
Okay.
Gaius, they can
Yeah,
stable
yes.
the horse. Yes,
Excellent.
they can stable the horses. If you could show this young human the horses,
Weird inflection, but I got it.
not good at this.
I speak dwarf if you really need to converse in your native language.
Okay, this is good to know.
Paul, Eldred's in here with us, right?
Yes.
Have him jump through the window just to be a jerk.
Yeah. Guys puts his hand around the kid. He's like, now listen, Tasha's my favorite, so you got to give him an extra sugar cube. And if you don't, I'll know.
I'll
And
just
then
let you
guys
know
also
right now, sir, we don't really have any sugar.
Oh no, guys pulls out a sugar cube. I've got some sugar. You just pass that along to him, and he gives.
You see the boy's eyes go wide as he looks at it, and he goes, "You want me to give this to the horse?"
And then guys gives him a copper. He's like, "Yeah."
Okay.
And then Betsy's not bad either. She's a little bit older, so like carrots are more of her treat. And that goes on as I walk him outside.
Okay. You see him take the horses and goes around the northern side of the building past the 8 horses and around. There's a wooden fenced in area with a big kind of gray cow in there just kind of staring at you. And he opens up a gate and walks the 2 horses in, and they immediately go to a trough and start drinking.
I secure our gear off the horses and just carry
Okay.
it back inside.
The innkeep looks at you, Nikita, and says, how many rooms would you like? I believe we have 6.
1, 2, 3. Just 3 would be good. Spasiba. Do they have multiple beds?
We have some with multiple beds, yeah.
2 with multiple beds and 1 single would be perfect. Spasiba.
Okay. Let's see. Just for the night?
Just for 1 night.
We'll call it a gold for all 3 rooms.
1 gold, 1 silver. Got it.
Oh, it'll be 2 silver for 1 for each horse.
Oh, the horses. That's right. Sorry.
He says we're kind of a stopping off point for travelers, so unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you to pay in advance.
Certainly. I have that, actually.
Okay.
Instead of investing in the Bank of Gaius, we have
Yes, exactly.
very low interest rates.
She rustles, 2 silver, rustle, 1 gold.
But God forbid if you come up late on your payments. Literally, God's
You
forbid.
hear a little voice from in your purse there, Nikita, that says, this would be a lot easier if you just didn't name us all Russell.
It's much easier to keep you this way, though. Shut.
She just doesn't want to learn our names. The other one goes, I know.
You're damn right I don't. I'm going to forget them.
Very
Don't
nice.
mind them, I say to the bartender.
He just kind of nods slowly and says, certainly, little lady. Here are your keys. And then he just kind of backs away and says, are those your friends at the table there?
That is them.
The little strange one and the tall strange ones?
That is definitely our group. The little
Okay.
blue strange one, slightly larger but still little one, really tall skinny one, and then the one who went with the horses. All strange.
Do you want some food and drink?
Please, we would very much.
Okay. As far as drink, you have a choice: beer or whiskey.
Can I have one of each?
For everybody?
5 of each.
5 of each? Sure, I'll bring them over, and I'll put the order in for the food. It's stew this evening. It's
Perfect. You
quite
does
honestly,
it have
it's
meat?
stew every. Yeah, there's meat in it, and
you
quite
know what
honestly,
kind
it's
of-
stew every night.
Of course. No, totally understand. Do you know what kind of meat? I'm just being nosy. We have a bet.
Yes, I do, and I'll put that order in for you.
You're funny. Okay.
So, what? Do
I
you
will
turn
go
back
over-
around and go to back to the table?
Yep.
Okay. Gaius, you probably come back in about this time. Come back to the table as Nikita is coming back to the table.
Well, Nikita, how did everything go?
It went great. 1 gold for 3 rooms that we'll be sharing, and 2 silvers for the horses.
Not bad, not bad. And I'm assuming food and drink are on the way. Do they have a house wine or?
No. It was beer or whiskey. And that
What
was
is
it.
with this part of the world? This part of the world sucks. Like
You
really
can
get
ask
me a
the
beer?
bartender. It's his joint. So,
Hey, look, I'm not
I got-
going to critique. It makes sense because the next largest place that has actual breweries and distilleries within a reasonable distance only make whiskey and beer. I was just kind of hoping. I mean, one of the best glasses of wine I have ever drank was apparently in the middle of a giant forest with nobody in a reasonable distance around.
I guess we'll have to go find that at some point.
Oh, that
No,
motherfucker.
he took our
I'll
horses.
find him. He stole our horses.
Oh,
He's not
that's the
taking
one.
Tosh and Betsy.
No, we will not let them take Tosh or Betsy.
I'm not going. The trick is you just don't go to sleep there.
That sounds
so we're
easy to
going
do, though. That place was cool.
Oh yeah, no, it was great, but it's still like.
Eldred says, but you remember, don't sleep when you're in the middle of the giant forest.
No, don't sleep at the inn
Jack
with the
Goodfellas.
really great booze. Jack Goodfellas, yeah. It's oh god, what was the place again? Fiddler's Rest. Yes. Aha.
Mhm.
I mean,
So we're getting 1 whiskey, 1 beer each. If you don't want to drink it, give it to Gaius, I guess.
a safe call.
Yeah. 2 of the rooms will have multiple beds. 1 room will be a single. We can arm wrestle for it if you want.
I mean, sure.
Yoo-hoo!
What? Wait, guys, you don't want to room with me?
I mean, she wanted us to arm wrestle. So the irony is, if I win, I could just give her the room. Or Eldred, you want to arm wrestle for the room? I don't know why we're doing. Sure, let's arm wrestle. Screw it.
Well, who's gonna?
Winner take
It'll
single
be
bed.
really interesting who I end up bunking with then.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 2 of you are
Oh.
going to arm wrestle at the table?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, just for the hell of it. Because Nikita has just occurred to her that Butt Trumpet does not want to room with anyone else. That message just got through. And she's like, oh, shit, right.
Okay.
I mean, I can arm wrestle too. I can arm wrestle whoever else.
Stay.
You
You
can
never
arm
know what
wrestle
will
the
happen.
winner.
Yes, exactly. That'll only go well for me.
I want to watch Gaius and Nikita arm wrestle.
Eldred says, I'll wrestle you, butt trumpet.
Oh,
Yes.
a magical
Oh,
wrestle off.
my
Yeah, this will be real
imaginary
good.
steeds.
Just 2 sticks just blowing back and forth in the breeze is what it looks like.
Start a fire in here.
Eldred puts his elbow on the table and says, "Let's go."
I'm very
Okay.
excited.
Butt Trumpet, give me a strength roll, a strength check, please. A strength.
This is going to
Make
be-
it like a strength saving throw. Add all your bonus.
I was
This
going
is
to
gonna
say,
be comical
athletics,
at best.
perhaps.
As expected.
So does
Before we even
This-
say go.
Okay.
Eldred accidentally pile drive them into the table?
Rips my heart off.
You see Eldred take Butt Trumpet's hand,
Wizard.
and
Just hear
The he-
cracking.
Eldred looks like he's straining, and he looks like he's like more than halfway over, and then all of a sudden his hand starts shaking, his eyes go wide, it starts going the other way, and he looks like he's bearing down, and then like gets it a little bit more and goes a little further, and then all of a sudden the hand quickly goes boom, and Eldred says, "Oh my gosh, you beat me. You are amazing."
Yay, butt trumpet!
Oh, Butt Trump, as far as I'm concerned, you can have the room. You won that fair and square. You are a
Definitely.
monster.
Insight
beast.
check.
You are a beast.
12.
Seems to be legit.
I
Damn.
do one of those. I do one of those flexes where the arms are down here, going.
Oh, yeah.
Eldred
no.
just nods and says, "Phew, you are 2 feet of whoop ass."
I need a T-shirt that says that.
Yes. Yes.
2 feet of whoop ass.
So, Nikita, just arm wrestle for the hell of it now, or what are we doing?
Yeah, sure. If you want to.
Yeah. Let's pit our.
Maybe the 2 winners can face off.
There you go. Yes, I like
Pit
this
off
idea.
our athletics. Yeah, see which one of us is either a bastard or just doesn't care.
I'll
my
ride
God.
off with my cockiness alone.
Both of you do your strength with all of your strength bonuses. And whoever,
Strength
matter of fact,
check,
we'll
right?
the very
What?
first, we'll do this in sections, okay?
I was going to say, do you have athletics?
Probably. Let me double check.
I was going to say, if you have athletics, then don't do a straight strength. Because that's literally the only skill that'll add proficiency bonus to your strength checks.
So both of you do a strength roll, a first one.
I hope you keep up with your standard. The two
Plus
strongest
6
characters in the party are just like, "Ah!"
Okay, so both of
In the
you,
rabbit cage all day.
your
It's just excited.
your eyes begin to bulge, your foreheads get really red. You both are flexing. Neither of your hands are moving; they're just shaking there at the same spot.
How long is this gonna go on?
This is awesome.
Give me another one. Eldred looks to you, Reed, and says, "I'll
Oh
put
my
a gold on Nikita."
You better, Eldred.
I don't know. I'm not taking that bet.
Okay.
Cleric v fighter. I hope to God the fighter wins.
Right.
And
Literally, I hope to my God that the fighter can beat me.
they're staying upright for a little while, and then gradually it goes about halfway in Nikita's favor. Roll me again.
You're just made of pure muscle, aren't you?
Yep, basically. Although I might poop myself at this point.
That is very distracting. What? That's not how this works.
Damn it.
You shouldn't be struggling this much. As Guys brings it back up to the center.
That rabbit cage is fucking heavy.
Nikita, give me a Constitution check, please.
Oh dear. Guys
Oh,
looks you dead in the
no.
eye. Dead in the eye. Don't you get us fucking thrown out of this place. I will let you win right now.
No,
Okay.
the Constitution's fine.
Okay, so you're struggling as it goes back up to the starting position, and you start to strain a little bit, and you let loose a little squeaker, but that's about it. Roll again.
The fuck?
Sorry.
Could you?
Oh, and it's
Could
stew
you not?
tonight for dinner.
Yeah, we haven't eaten it yet.
I know. I'm worried.
Oh God, the smell! And I get distracted.
Gaius is about ready to give it all. He takes a deep inhale and then starts making some weird noises, and it goes back again half over. In Nikita's favor again.
I'm allergic to rabbits. I just remembered. And I ate one.
Oh, it's just the fur, I think. Another roll, Paul.
Eldred says that is not the fur.
What mushrooms were in that?
Yeah. I want to know this as well. Oh, here you go.
Here you go.
You make it back up to upright again.
Oh!
Because
Ugh. Oh God! It's not as bad as the sewer, though. It's not as bad as the sewer.
There is
Nothing
a
as bad as the sewer. Nothing as bad as that sewer. Oh, we're
Walks into the cloud.
Yeah. Drops dead. Oh,
I didn't know beer could
you haven't spent time in the sewer like we have.
you see this very large bald guy with a big bushy white beard and mustache, and a big dwarf, a little bigger than Nikita, with he's also bald with a big scraggly beard that is tucked into his belt. They both go and walk in, and the dwarf goes, "I heard someone take it."
Yeah.
And you see the big guy just kind of go, and the dwarf says, that's a typical dwarf strategy.
You did that on
handed down
purpose?
over generations.
Why?
Now that you're both back to upright, the dwarf and the big guy goes, who was doing the bets? And Eldred goes, I guess that was me. And he goes,
I didn't bet him, though.
What was that, Reed?
I didn't bet him, though.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And he goes, what are the odds? He says, Eldred says, I was betting a gold piece on the dwarf. And both of them look at each other and goes, big guy says, I'll take that. Looks at you guys and says, right?
Yeah.
And the dwarf looks around and says, I want the dwarf as well. Anybody want to take my money?
Yeah,
That's right. You back me up, brother.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take. Yeah, sure. I'll take
A
you guys
gold?
on whatever.
You got it.
Gold. Yep.
Both of you give me another roll.
And now Gaius is the eye of the gambler. Music starts playing, and fucking the rolls just keep being shit.
And now
But the
I've got to
question
hold it up
is-
for all of fourth kind. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
We're just sitting there. Ah!
And both of you just like the veins are popping on your
Screaming at
brows
one another.
and the sweat is coming down.
Like we're exchanging spit. I'm assuming because we're just screaming open mouth
Yes.
at one another.
Nikita, give me another constitution check, please.
Oh
Why'd you give yourself these conditions?
Because she's a good player.
no!
Oh,
Yes.
oh dear God.
No, this isn't good.
No.
I don't want to lose through forfeit.
Our fighter has
Yes.
That's a win with an asterisk. That doesn't count.
You're you're half right.
Giving you an asterisk.
Eldred
Ugh.
says you're half right, guys.
Yeah.
And
That's all.
Nikita, you kind of let loose a shart, and
Nice.
Oh,
The dwarf says, "Yeah, you go," and kind of lifts up his leg and lets out something himself.
Please
Oh
stop.
God!
This was just supposed to be for fun.
And it's pretty raw. Guys, give me a Constitution check, please.
Oh my gosh, guys, we gotta eat here.
This is not my fault.
Okay, you're good. Both
Yeah,
of you, give me another roll.
I've been in the sewers of Seven Rivers. This isn't nothing.
It's unpleasant.
I'm almost afraid now because I really wanted to take on the winner.
Oh wow!
Well, guys, what was your original roll before she hit it?
It was
That
an unnatural 20. It was a 14 plus 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not a true 20. Despite
Okay. No problem.
The
So-
confetti.
Gaius take
Shiny 20.
sharding 20.
Ugh.
Gaius takes his over halfway in his favor, and the
Please,
dwarf's
Nikita,
like,
stop it.
he goes, "Come on, for our people,"
For our people!
and he lets out a squeaker.
Stop
So
it.
both of you go
I don't
again.
think that's helping. Actually, please stop.
For the dwarf people, I will win. Just to have her stop this awfulness.
And back up to the center again.
Dear God, Bacchus,
And the dwarf's
please.
like, yes. And the
This is
dwarf
going
looks
to
at you
get
guys and
nasty.
says, "Well, double it.
Sure, whatever.
2 gold. You got
Whatever.
it."
Yep, whatever makes
Oh my
it stop
God.
quicker. And hopefully
He,
this is fueling Gaius' gambling habit that he's just like, oh, more.
More pain.
Butt trumpet or Reed, give me a perception check.
I'll do it.
Oh God!
Okay.
One of you, either both of you, or one of you with advantage.
Oh,
Oh, whoops.
Take that advantage.
Yep.
please.
Gonna just. What do I do? Roll another 20-sider?
Yes, please. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
please.
Yeah. Choose the higher of the two.
Okay. You
We
don't
are
notice
just on a
it.
roll today.
You don't notice
Some of us are.
anything. So, give me another roll, folks.
Oh, dear.
All right.
This is intense.
I actually didn't think it would go on this long. I am very sorry.
Neither did I, but really, please stop fighting this and just let me end this. Did you buy extra pants when we were in Seven Rivers? Because I did.
No.
Goes
gonna be
goes
wa-
part way, like not quite half, but close to halfway in Gaius' favor. So roll again, and the dwarf's like going, damn it! Come on, you can do it. For our people. The big bald guy with the white beard just stands there looking intently.
Yeah. Shabam.
Okay, with that, it goes back up and just a little bit past upright into Nikita's favor. And the dwarf's like, yes. Roll again.
Really?
So wait,
Realize
am I letting you win, or are you letting me win at this point?
I am just wanting you to stop messing your pants up, to be quite
big,
honest.
the big bald guy with the white beard says, no one lets anyone. You do this properly.
Oh, my friend,
Don't-
I have money on this. I am not losing. I, sir, have a gambling problem.
And it comes back up to center again.
We're gonna be in bed before you guys finish.
We haven't even gotten our food yet. Relax. This is all taking place in like technically a round of combat, basically.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Where are the drinks, by the way?
Okay, both of you give me a Constitution saving throw.
Ouch. That's not good.
Okay. The two of you have been straining incredibly with this. As can be verified by the air around Nikita.
Yeah.
Gaius, for the rest of this bout, you are going to be considered having a point of exhaustion.
Oh wow! So I'm gonna have a -3.
Yeah, because the difference in that roll was -2.
-2.
-2.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll just whatever I roll, we'll -2. Gotcha.
Yeah, the smell is beginning to get to you a little bit
Yeah.
because you're really hungry, and it's just.
I don't know
not
if I am anymore, to be quite
Right.
honest with you.
So give
Oh,
me
so do you
another,
have? I'll have to.
give me another roll, please. You're both upright
sleep.
again.
I'll sleep with the cows where it's less stanky. So 13 for me.
And 14 for Nikita. It just kind of I was going to say squeaks, but maybe I shouldn't say that.
Slides a little bit.
Or maybe it does
Yeah.
squeak just like a
it's
quarter
the-
of the way
the table.
into Nikita's favor. So instead of the halfway mark, it's a quarter mark. And the dwarf says, "Yeah, you got it," and lets out another one.
Please,
And
for the
No,
love
no,
of Bacchus,
seriously.
contain it.
Empty stomachs.
the big bald guy with the white beard has been focused on the hands the whole time. But this time, like, he looks over at his friend, just you see the eyes just kind of look over him with almost a little bit of exasperation, and then back on the hands.
All right,
Give me another roll.
Reed looks at that guy and is like, "Can you make him stop?" Oh.
So that's just a 10 for me.
With 24, it is like a quarter from Nikita winning. It's literally
Gotcha.
a quarter from winning. And both of you are red-faced, you have veins bulging, you're soaked to the bone with sweat. Give me another roll.
I can't feel my eyelids.
My nostrils hurt.
Hey.
And Nikita buries your hand into the table. And the dwarf, you won, but the dwarf who's been watching all of a sudden leaps into the air and is like, "Yeah!
Dwarven Victor!
Oh, thank Bacchus, that's over. Holy crap.
I then promptly sit back down, remembering.
The
Need
big
a bag
bald
of
guy
ice.
just tosses
Yeah.
a gold towards Eldred and turns and walks back to his table.
And I slide the gold over to the dwarf. There you go, my friend.
He takes the 2 gold, runs around the table to you, Nikita, gives you a big kiss on the forehead and says, "You've made us proud."
Good!
And
I wouldn't have said that, but okay.
he looks
Luckily,
at
she's
you
wearing the-
side-eyed, Gaius, and
Brown trousers. That's all I gotta say. Brown trousers.
he walks
You got
around
to
the
do what you
table
got.
the long way to go back to his table, and just as he's right parallel with you guys, lets out a rip-roaring one and just continues on as if nothing happened.
That should be almost illegal.
I'm beginning
He
to
could
think
just do it
all
on
dwarves have
camera.
IBS.
They can do it
It's the
on
rich.
command?
It's this rich above ground food.
Yes.
They have these things called vegetables. Have you heard of them?
Nope.
Eldridge just says, "Yes, legumes."
Apparently they wreck the internal workings of a dwarf to ungodly purport. Gaius goes and opens the door and just takes a big breath of fresh air. He's like, "Oh,
You smell the horses.
That's nature, and somehow that smells so much better.
Somewhere
I'm
from
looking
amongst
for
the
the-
horses, you just hear.
Yep, that wasn't as bad because that's mostly
That's
hay instead of rotting whatever's rotting inside of Nikita.
Her intestine.
Basically.
Yeah.
Guys, you come back and the barkeep is there with the boy. The boy sets down a bowl in front of each of you. Kind of, his eyes look like they're burning, and he's just kind of putting his face away. You can see he's holding his breath.
We need the
I
biological
know.
warning.
I had to sit in that for like 2 straight minutes.
The barkeep has a big tray of big tankards, puts one down in front of each of you, and says, "This is Farmer's Glory. It's we get it from Forest Grove, and this first round is on the table over there." He points to the table where the large bald men and the dwarf went.
Turn around.
And
Well met. Thank you, sirs. And is it just, what is the party of, I guess, 8? Is it all gentle folk, men, women, half? There's a dwarf and a guy. I know that much.
right. So you got those two.
Mhm.
You've got two people who seem to be thin but in deep green cloaks, so you can't really make out their features. A young guy in leather armor, an elf in some basically just a cloak. You see a halfling dressed similarly, and a female elf who's bald, tall and thin, and dressed in a sleeveless leather vest is really what you can tell, with some gold rings going down both their ears, and resting behind them against the wall next to the window are about 3 what look like 2 spears and a large polearm with what looks almost like the blade of a sword on the end of it.
Oh, that looks like a glaive. But thank you for the libations, and may Bacchus bless you on your journeys, and probably looking like it adventures as well.
The
Spasiba.
tall bald guy just kind of nods. The dwarf turns around and specifically to you, Nikita, and goes. The barkeep then comes with a tray of small glasses and sets it down, and says, "This we make is made here in Stoats Hole, and it's just Stoat's whiskey. We don't have a lot of creative types here in Stoats Hole,
That's fine. You make whiskey. That's creative enough, my friend.
and your food is the stew. Hope you enjoy it." And they both turn around and walk back.
Can I ask the bartender a quick question?
He looks over and says, "Yes."
So cleaning clothes, where would I go to do that?
I can give you a bucket of soapy water, or
Nope, that's good. Perfect.
Okay.
I will take it
Okay,
to my room.
you got it. He says, "By the way, the whiskey and the dinner is going to be for the group of you. We'll just say 4 silver."
I can do that. 4 silver. Yeah, you're very welcome. We had fun. I'm gonna look in my bag and go, Russell's, 4 silver. Pull it out.
You feel like the coins leap into your hand. Everyone just sees you reach down and like dig in there looking for them.
Riding horseback does funny things to dwarves.
As did that stairway underneath the house, it seems.
Yes, very much so.
Which begs the question, do you think Mirror Nikita suffers from intestinal problems?
Almost certainly. They're probably worse. They're probably constipated all the time. This makes me happy.
Eldred says, from what you've said, though, would it make sense that the other Nikita just belches a lot?
This is possible too. Not as funny.
Belches
It's
to the
possible.
point of vomiting?
Well, considering what just happened during that arm wrestling match, very possibly.
Gaius is a very strong man. I am proud to consider him a friend and cleric, and yes. She downs the whiskey.
And Eldred says, after that, I never realized just how strong you were, Nikita.
There are frontliner.
I
She's
don't
the one
think
who's
the
going
front
to
had
fall
anything
first.
to do with that, says Eldred.
I was talking more in the cohesion of battle, but
So was I.
I'm going to look for you next time, Eldred, just to fuck with you.
My mother used to tell me, or at least I like to pretend that I had a mother who said this. Be careful
well,
what
that's
you
really
wish for.
depressing.
It's alright, I don't have parents either.
Wait, does everybody else?
Eldred looks to you and says, "High five there, butt trouble."
Really
Wait.
depressing high five.
There you go. And
Nikita, did you
Eldred
at least have a
goes,
family
and when
that
your
loved you?
hands meet, Eldred just goes,
Hit him too hard, butt trumpet. Strong. Wait, hold on. I know
Eldred
Reed
just
has
goes,
a
"Way to
tragic
go,
backstory.
muscles."
Out of character question, how many silver in a gold?
10. And by the way, you all pretty. I would make someone do a perception check, but on top of being that the odors of the evening seem to be taking a precedence, you will notice that the tavern is filled with smoke. And as you look around, there's that table over in the corner. There, like somebody's smoking a pipe, and a few others are smoking cigars. But like a lot of people in this inn are smoking pipes. Short little nose warmers, long church wardens, small bents and straight. Just every, the room is filled with the smell of pipe tobacco and other smells.
Yeah. No, Gaius, after finishing his food, immediately breaks out a pipe as well, stuffs it with tobacco, and lights that up just to get the odor that's lingering around the table to go the hell away.
The stew that you have, the meat seems to be very stringy and kind of greasy, and in small stringy amounts. The gravy is very thin, and the only other stuff in here is kind of root vegetables and a few small leaves that you don't recognize what they're from.
I wonder if has anyone had weasel before? I've had ferret, which is kind of similar.
I don't
Granted,
think
I
I
cooked
have.
it and I prepared it poorly.
The ale's pretty good though.
Oh yeah,
The ale is very hearty. It is very, very hearty and kind of thick compared to most ales you're used to. It's almost at a stout porter sort of range, but not quite.
Nice. This is a very nice ale. He said the ale was from Forest Grove, too. So
Yes. What we should do is, if it's convenient tonight, we figure out if there's anybody that knows anything about Forest Grove, or do that in the morning before we leave. I'm thinking that a venturing party that bought us rounds is probably leaving. I think we're getting their rooms. We might want to. I don't know if anyone feels like talking to them, see what they're up to. Nikita, you seem to have bonded with the one other dwarf over there. See if they've gone to Forest Grove, if they know anything, because they would probably pay attention to the things we would need to pay attention to.
Yeah. But first,
If you
I'm
feel
going
up
to
to
go
it.
up. No, once I clean my pants, I will come back down.
You know what? I think I know a guy who knows prestidigitation, and just kind of looks over at Eldred.
I always forget about prestidigitafucking what's its.
Yeah, and it cleans about a shart's spot worth of pant, I think. Or more.
And Eldred turns to you, Gaius, and says, first looks to Nikita and says, "Thank you, Nikita." Turns to you, Gaius, and says, "And would you please pay attention to her and learn how to pronounce the spell correctly?"
I will do my damnedest.
Yeah,
Thank you.
considering I change it every time.
Listen, I speak
That-
dwarf. It's fluent to me.
That's
That's arcane language. That's the way it works.
exactly.
Can you make everything smell good again, too?
I can.
Don't encourage him because he'll make it smell bad. I know him. I know his ways.
I'm waiting for him to do some magic.
Oh, okay. And he does a flourish and says a few things. And Reed, you notice things smell really, really good, like a beautiful bouquet of flowers.
Ooh.
Somebody give me a
Nikita waits and
perception
kind
check.
I'll do it.
Okay. It's kind of hard to miss. You notice that Reed now has two large flowers right under his nose, kind of sticking out, with the stems just kind of going in opposite directions, just sticking there.
I don't say anything.
Okay.
Eldred, are you the prop comic of wizard kind? Is this what you do? Is this
that was a
who you
good
are?
spell.
A guy has to make a living.
Yeah. Let me know when you start getting paid for that.
I did before I met you. Granted, they were small places; they didn't pay well, but you know.
Yes.
Now do her pants. Do that magic, too.
He just looks at you with a blank look on his face.
Phrasing. Phrasing greed.
Please clean my pants, Eldred.
There's an oopsie poopsie.
Eldred says,
Yes.
"Okay, you're going to have to stand up, turn around, and bend over, Nikita."
No, never mind. I'll do it myself. It's okay. That's fine.
He goes, "No, I'm
She
not
takes
going.
the-
I can do it from over here." He goes, and
Should I do an insight check or just rock slightly to see if it worked?
well, are you still sitting?
Yeah, I didn't move.
Okay, he's just kind of going like this. He can't do anything if you're sitting on it. And
Okay,
as
I
you're
will stand up.
rocking, you do hear a little squishing.
Okay. So I
Guys,
stand
it's just
up.
like, bruh, with his pipe. Ugh. I heard it. I heard a little bit from across the table.
Sorry. Okay.
Sorry,
I'm
I can't smell
standing.
pipe smoke. It's fantastic.
So what do you do?
Standing.
Okay. You stand up, and if you turn away from Eldred, you just hear pew pew, and you hear this like tinkling of bells from your backside, and everyone just sees all these pink sparkles seem around Nikita's backside, and it's cleaned right up. It's like little pink fireworks going off.
Yeah, you know when I do my
And
You
Eldred
know, when
just
I do
goes,
my thing-
"It's magic."
No shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit. Ha. Get
Exactly.
It?
Yeah.
mine can't do the cleaning thing. Why is mine so much more ominous?
Eldred says, "Showmanship."
Oh, it's showmanship both ways. Mine just works toward intimidating. Yours is whatever the hell that is.
You do that in the middle of battle, I bet you it'll have a reaction.
When I go to drink my ale, do I notice the flowers?
No,
No. Okay.
the mug just seems to go right through them,
Okay.
so you have no clue. You just kind of go, By the way, what are you wearing on your head, Reed?
The cap with my armor.
Okay.
That leather cap, yep.
Okay.
All right, since I'm standing, I will walk, and standing and have a clean tushy. I will walk over to the other table. Hopefully, it stopped sparkling.
It did. It was a momentary thing.
Okay, good.
You could be the new Sparkle
Long-lasting
Bottom.
effect. That's right. That's right. I go over to the dwarf. Is he in the middle of conversation or?
He seems focused on what's being said, but as you approach, the table goes quiet. And you see his head come up and turn around, and he says, "Ah, how are you? Well done.
Spasiba, brother. I am doing well. How are you?
2 gold richer, thanks to you. Can I buy you a drink?"
Exactly. May I ask your name?
"You certainly can." And he looks around. He kind of you give me a perception check. Okay, you don't catch anything. But he looks about to say something. Kind of pauses, looks across the table, and then says, "Grolsch."
How do you spell that?
Gro Roche.
Rolsh. Spasiba. I greatly appreciate your patronage. Is this a bad time? I was going to ask a question about Forest Grove, but I feel like I'm interrupting.
They kind of all look amongst each other and said, "This is Stoats Hole."
I understand. I was just curious if any of you had been there, knew anything about it, heard anything about it.
Yeah, you see a lot of head shakes.
Well, we appreciate the drinks and the food. Spasiba, have a good night.
They nod and they seem to watch you go when you get back to your table. Then they seem to go back to kind of talking amongst themselves.
Okay.
So how'd it go?
Yeah, he is friendly-ish, but they are definitely discussing something they don't want anyone else to hear. And they don't know shit about Forest Grove, so we should probably try some other people, maybe the bartender, since if he lives here.
Oh yeah, no, it was more of I figured that if they gave up their rooms, they're leaving in the near future, so the resource wouldn't be there. But okay, I wonder what they are up to.
That is a good question.
That is a very heavily armed group. But they pled ignorance of Forest Grove, though, so not heading in our direction, I guess.
Yeah, it didn't look like they were lying, but I didn't exactly, grill them about it.
I mean, there's no logical reason for us to do it. They literally they gambled on an arm wrestling competition for us and then bought us drinks.
This is
Nothing
true.
to get real suspect about.
This is true. This is why less paranoid.
Yeah. So I guess as the night progresses, when the bartender comes, or do we got to go to the bartender for more drinks?
Yeah.
Is that how that works? Whoever goes up for the next round, if they get their beer from Forest Grove, they might know a little bit about it.
This is a good point.
Try asking them about specifically if they know anything, and then Silas Marner, I think is how it's said. The last name?
Yep, that was the name.
That sounds vaguely familiar, duh.
Yeah, if they know anything about that person, because I believe that is who we are going to be contacting in town, and that's the child, I think the father of the child that is missing, or at the very least the contact we got to make.
The daughter is pledged to somebody in the palace, I think, but we don't know if that's the one that's missing.
Yeah, we just know it's a child that's missing. So,
Eldred says, "I think the guy's daughter is going to be a scullery maid, or the merchant promised to have her work at the palace or something."
Yeah, they were kind of vague on exactly what she would do. I guess it depends on whatever her capacity is.
Her skills, I would imagine.
Yeah. But basically, just we're here to, I assume, find the son who's going to maybe inherit the his merchanting job or whatever.
Or maybe
Or it
it's
could be
just
the girl.
on behalf of somebody from the town.
Yeah, I don't know. We won't know until we. So see if they know anything about Forest. Whoever goes up for drinks, what do they know about Forest Grove? And if they know this Silas Marner person.
Okay, who's going up for drinks?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Should we
Who
arm
hasn't
wrestle
paid-
for it? I'm kidding.
No. Who hasn't paid for a round in years?
I paid.
I literally gave you all my money.
Oh, Buck Trouble, you're fine. We got a horse because of you.
Okay, but if I go, you gotta hold my bunny.
Okay. Guy's kind of like carefully holds his hands out. He's like,
So does Butt Trumpet.
Are you gonna hold the bunny? Okay. I'll go
well,
get
Wait.
it.
we'll see
I mean,
which way the
I'm
bunny goes.
I'm essentially its creator.
And also the same size as it.
Yeah, that's my question.
Guys,
Reed?
Somebody stop me.
If Butt Trumpet needs help, you help.
I got it covered.
Actually, you could probably put it down on the floor. It's probably stay under the table.
I mean, you can put it on the table. It's all the food's been, for the most part, right? Everyone done eating? Guy stumps whatever slop in every bowl is into one specific bowl, and then puts it down. It's like, yeah, give that to the bunny. Just put it on the table.
Alrighty.
So you put it on the table, Reed, and head to the bar. You head over to the bar, and the bartender leans over and says, "Yes, good master. What can I do for you, sir?"
Need ales for the table. I guess 5 of
Okay.
them.
5 more Farmer's Glories coming right up.
All right.
He turns around and starts pouring them out of a large keg.
So as he's doing that, I'll start talking him up.
Okay,
So
it's a pump keg, so he's pumping them out as if you want to talk to him.
so these come from Forest Grove, right?
And he had gone around to the side to do it, and so you kind of follow him around. There's a couple of old men kind of just sitting there milking their drinks, and the bartender says, "Yeah, we get a delivery from Forest Grove about once a month."
I like the ale. It's pretty good.
Well, that's good. It's the only ale we have.
What else? What are they like? A lot of breweries in Forest Grove?
I don't think so, because Farmer's Glory is pretty much the one thing that we get from them.
We're probably going to be heading there soon. So I was just kind of wondering what the town's like. Have you ever been there?
No. And Bobby, who usually brings the delivery, Bobby Cassaway, doesn't talk about home too much. He's very nice kid. Always asks how we're doing and stuff, but doesn't really talk about himself or about home at all.
I look at these old guys sitting around the bar. Any of you guys ever been to Forest Grove?
They kind of look at each other, look around, kind of lean into their drink a little bit more, and just shake their head and go, no.
So we're supposed to talk to somebody named Silas Marner. I guess nobody knows who that is then either, huh?
No, one like just puffs a big cloud from his pipe, and it just kind of it's obviously all in his and his buddy's face, but they just don't move their face at all.
As in, like, we don't want to talk about it, or just like,
Give me an insight check.
8-10.
Tough to tell.
Well, if he's putting the drinks on the bar, I'll reach up and start grabbing them.
He's
I'll run
got
2
like
over to the
3 of the 5 done. So,
Okay. I'll take 2 over to the table first and then come back.
anything else you want to ask him while you're going?
As I grab the last 3 drinks, I'll put some... how much do I owe you for the drinks?
1 silver, sir, we'll say.
So, is there... By the way, is there anybody here who might know about Forest Grove who we could talk to?
I'll have to think about that. I don't know if anybody
If it's like
looks
a
around
mystery
and
or something,
says,
it's okay. If it's like a mystery or something, then just tell me. I won't.
I don't know anything about no mysteries. I just...
Oh.
Most people in Stoats Hole stay in Stoats Hole. Right? And
Yeah.
the 2 old men said, "Never left." And then just continues to drink.
I put the silver up on the counter and then I grab the
thank-
other drinks. Okay.
"Thank you, young sir." And he says, if I can remember anybody here, he kind of looks around at the bar, not necessarily the tables, but the bar, and says, Anybody here ever been to Stoats Hole? What's the place again? Forest Grove.
Forest
Grove. And you just you kind of people look at each other and you get a lot of like head shakes.
It's not that far, right?
It's a number of days from what I gather. And
All right, well, thank you.
as you're looking around at the people in the bar, this is, here in Philly, you have the city. As you head outside the city, you have the suburbs, and then past the suburbs, you've got some. It gets a little bit more country-like, and the further you go in certain directions, it gets downright real country-ish. At times bordering on backwoods-ish. Pennsylvania area, yeah. In those places, you would sometimes see the bars that are kind of like it's like a hallway that was turned into a bar, no windows. It's dark in there. There's usually a Schmitz or a Schlitz sign outside blinking with a short. And every time someone opens the door to go in at 9 in the morning or 6 in the morning, because the people who are getting in there just got off their shift, a lot of people will like squint like the smoke from their cigarette has gotten in their eyes. This is kind of the vibe you have in here.
I will come back with the rest of the ales.
Okay.
Any luck,
Now-
friend Reed?
Well, hold up. Back up a little bit. While Reed's up there getting the ales and talking to the bartender, the bunny on the table you put the bowl in front of him, and the ears perk up a little bit. It kind of goes forward, sticks its head into the bowl. You see it seems to be nibbling a little bit, and then like stops, freezes. The head comes up. It blinks once or twice and then starts backing away a little bit and then just sits there, blinking, staring at the bowl.
I've seen this thing eat its own kind. This is terrifying.
Yep. I am suddenly very worried about the food. What can we do about it?
Hey, you know what? When our resident sneaky person gets back to the table, we can probably figure out what they're making the food in the kitchen. I've eaten horse before, by the way. This isn't horse, and I'm almost certain rabbit here would probably eat a horse if it could.
It just kind of blinks and stares at the bowl.
Yeah, it's unsettling that it won't eat that.
Yeah.
At which point, Gaius reaches into one of the bags he brought in from off the horses and gets some travel ration sausage piece and just puts it in front of the rabbit to test.
Looks at it and just starts going at it.
Yeah, that's terrifying. That whatever we just finished eating, it doesn't want to eat.
Did anybody taste anything funny?
Well, I mean, that meat was kind of
it tasted
stringy and
very gamey, very stringy. It was a very strong flavor.
Hey, you know those things we saw earlier? Kind of, sort of? The long
Weasels,
rat-like
ferrets,
things?
flatworms.
Maybe those?
Were
Maybe that.
ferrets?
Ferrets.
Where ferret would imply that it's
Eldred
people.
says, out in the road when we were on our way here.
But would it really be that bad that Reed's bunny wouldn't eat it? I mean, Reed ate it.
Reed eats anything. The bunny...
Right, Mikey?
The bunny should eat everything. I mean, it's eaten other rabbits.
It might not have known.
Without
but,
batting an eye. It knows something's wrong with the food here, and that's kind of
This is
terrifying.
true. Yeah.
Cool, we just ate all of it. And, it's now been established that one of our dwarves has IBS. So, this could only go well.
Well, the good news is they're in a room by themselves, so they're just going to destroy that room.
But Trumpet, did you still want to share the room with me tonight?
You know what? Why don't you take the room all by yourself and I'll share a room with Eldred or something?
This might be recommended. I am thinking
You won
now.
that our wrestling match fair and square.
And I have the
Valid
bucket
point.
with the soapy water already.
Exactly.
Eldred goes, that's going to be a lot of bubble.
I hope so. I hope that's all it is.
I come back
So
with the
anywho-
drinks.
Okay.
What are you guys talking about?
So Reed, I found something your bunny doesn't want to eat. Yeah, it's the
Ah.
food we just ate, apparently. And I guess
Ah.
I fish in the bowl for a piece of the meat that's still like floating in there. And I put it in front of the bunny. Not like super close, but I know enough that it might want to back away from it again. I look at it like I'm having a conversation with a normal person. Is this
Of
the
course.
stuff you don't want to eat?
And it just seems to be focused on what you gave it, and just the head's down, and it's just eating.
Ah, son of a bitch. I wait for it to finish the sausage, and then I'm like, hey, you. Come on, focus. This the bad stuff?
Bunny with ADHD.
Come on.
Reed,
I want to
look.
put the meat down in front of it.
I look around. Is anybody else eating the soup? The stew?
The bunny kind of looks around, sees Reed, and kind of hops over to Reed, and kind of
Awesome.
nuzzles into him.
Son of a
But he
bitch. Reed,
avoids
see
the
if it'll eat this. He avoided the meat, though.
Did he avoid the meat? That guy says we're trying to check if it's the meat that freaks him out or something else. The meat might be the long rodent things from outside.
Eldred says, even if it is the meat, it's stew, so it's going to kind of sucked up whatever else was in there.
Yeah,
True.
I don't know. I was just testing, kind of, but
Worth a shot.
whatever. Hey, if you guys have some funky ass dreams tonight, make sure you kind of try to remember them.
Eldred says, I did not put any of those in that.
Dreams? You didn't put dreams in the stew.
Right.
Exactly.
I couldn't find any to put in there, so I did not cook
Okay.
with any dreams.
Well,
Is
I guess
anybody else-
so. Reed.
Is any? Yes. Is anybody else eating the stew at the other tables or the bar?
Give me a perception check, please.
Can I help him for advantage?
Sure, take advantage.
Because I will not be subtle about looking around.
20, not natural.
Unnatural 20. Funny, there are a lot of tankards, a lot of glasses. Other than at your table, you don't see one bowl anywhere in the bar.
Yeah, guys, nobody else is eating the stew.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right back. Guy just goes outside. Doesn't say
Well, your
anything.
constitution checks tomorrow are going to be great.
Guys comes back inside. Yeah, I'm gonna need some ale. Some more ale. And he picks up the tankard and just drains it. He's like swishes it around in his mouth, walks back outside,
Wait,
comes back in,
okay.
reaches into his pack and just starts eating one of the sausages that the rabbit definitely is like.
It's like the
Like, you
sausage
guys-
version of a Slim Jim.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they're gonna be knowing in the middle of the night.
A Kool-Aid flavored version of sausage version of a Slim Jim.
Oh,
Ugh.
oh god, I don't need it to taste like red sugar.
I just fear with the oh yeah.
Oh no.
Ugh.
Step to a Slim Jim.
Anyway.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it gets later. What do you do?
Well, I tell everybody that the barkeep and all the people in here, apparently none of them ever go to Forest Grove or have been there. Nobody
Well,
talks about it at all.
As someone who's been near a bunch of hick towns in the past, they don't travel much. They kind of stick here. There's like the guy in town who goes to get the stuff, and that's about it.
Yeah, it sounds like
did they
it
say-
sounds like the guy from Forest Grove comes here with the ale. And other than that,
Not a bad idea. Is it coming soon? If not, I mean, we're going to be there in a couple of days, so it's kind of 6 in one and half a dozen in the other.
yeah, I didn't think that's that.
It's all right. No big deal. It's just it's an opportunity to ask. Guess it's I'm done with this establishment when it comes to sustenance.
I have 3 room
Hope that the
keys.
room's
I
better.
will. Yeah.
So do you just get first pick, or is that how does the victor want the room?
I guess I'll go look for the one room with the single bed.
Okay.
Eldred, are we
Yeah.
bunk buddies?
You betcha.
You and me, guys.
Do I know which keys are which, or do we need to go scout it?
The one room
Probably
seems to be separate from the other 2.
I'll hand out the other 2 then, and I will keep my solo key and kind of stare at it and stare at my stomach and stare at the key.
Okay, like the one room is room 6, and the other 2 are 2 and 3.
Okay.
Don't suppose you want to make it a little easier for me to get up the stairs?
Eldred takes you, lifts you up, puts you on his shoulders. Says, "Of course." He goes, "You betcha."
Don't forget to duck.
muscles."
He's really tall.
Yeah, watch the ceiling.
So you head up to the rooms. Everyone head up to the rooms.
Yeah.
Do I
think it's
see
been
it?
a full rich day?
Young boy. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I just said I think it's been a full rich day.
Do I see the young boy that went out with Gaius to the horses? Is he in here somewhere, or
Give me a perception check.
Yay.
You
That's
turn
when you
around
get
to
the nat
look,
20.
and he's right at the table behind you, cleaning up some stuff.
I do not remember his name, but that is okay. I'm going to wander over to him
Boy.
first.
Okay, you really don't
Boy.
even have to get out
Boy.
of your chair. You can just kind of turn around. And it's more
Oh,
like a
perfect.
stool than a chair, by the way.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Sure thing, ma'am. What would you like to know?
What were those things running outside on the road? Kind of long.
Oh,
I'm a
little
dwarf,
Weasley
I'm not-
things?
Yeah.
Oh, Stoats.
Spasiba. Is that what was in the stew? It was quite an interesting flavor.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste, I think. I try never to eat this stuff. I'm not a
does
big
look like
fan of
nothing-
rodent.
Like, we noticed not many others were eating it either.
Well, when you've lived here as long as most of them have, they've kind of eaten enough of it. I mean, some of them have to because there's not much else around here. We have a few farms in the area, but mostly it's
Yeah.
turnips and potatoes, and if you're lucky, potatoes.
I can understand this. Do you know the boy that comes down from Forest Grove? Do you know him?
Oh, Bobby. Yeah,
Yeah, Bobby.
not
Yeah.
not personally, but I mean, whenever he comes in, I see him. I usually help him unload, not the
Oh,
kegs, because that would like crush my little body, but like everything else.
Right. Oh, okay. Is he due for a while, or do you know?
I think we just got a delivery last week.
We're probably heading up that way, so we're just curious if what you've heard about Forest Grove.
Well, if you see him, just tell him Jimmy said hi. He's a good guy.
Will do.
A little quiet, but he's a good guy.
Good to know. Thank you, Jimmy.
No problem.
You have a good night.
You too. Sleep well. You head up.
I am going to try.
You head up to your room.
Yep, I've got the bucket with the water, the key.
Okay. Is everyone in their rooms then? Then that seems like the perfect place to call this evening. Those of you new to us, thank you for joining us. We stream Sunday nights on Twitch at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Grognard and Friends, and catch up on previous episodes on YouTube, also at Grognard and Friends. We're working on getting a little more up there and as time goes by, but just be patient with us. We are new streamers and we're still small, so a follow or a subscribe or a thumbs up would go a long way to help us, and we'd really appreciate it. Plus, we always love getting new friends. So thank you for joining us. Tune in next week. Same Grognard time, same Grognard channel. Remember what we usually say. Whoever you're with, wherever you go, whatever you do, be kind.